What? Okay. I kinda thought that was a Nazi word, then I was scared, but okay. I didn't know this sounds like a Yuri word. Okay, nice. Friends. Okay, nice. Last one. Oh, nice. Just a few days ago, I would never have thought that I'd look forward to an extracurricular so much. But here I am, back at another club meeting and anticipating new antics from everybody. The usual scene awaits me as I step into the club room. Hi, Midas. Hey, Sayori. Looks like you're in a good mood today. I'm just still not used to you being in the club, that's all. Is that so? But it's nice to see you so cheery. And I bet you're gonna be even more cheery once this route really does start. Anyway, what's new? Oh, I've got some exciting news. What's up? Did you know that the student store sells the new brand of strawberry milk now? I saw when I passed by on my way here. I should have known better than to expect actual news from Sayori. I don't think I've tried that yet. I don't know, strawberry milk is too sweet for me. But it goes great with melon bread. I really like strawberry milk, but I don't know what melon bread is. Sayori, you could eat a packet of raw sugar and you'd still say it's not sweet enough. Hey, that's an exaggeration. Seriously though, it goes really well with bread. The milk is sweet, but it has that unique tart strawberry flavor that's eased by the richness of the milk. And when you pair that with fresh bread, the sweetness is spread out even more, so that it just has the right amount of flavor. When did you become Gordon Ramsay, Sayori? I'm a food expert, so you should trust me on this. I mean, given how many snacks you eat every day, I don't doubt that you know your food at all. I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Meanie. So I'm a meanie for giving me your compliment. Anyway, are you hungry now? Talking about food always makes me hungry. Now that you mention it, maybe a little. Great, let's go to the student store and buy snacks. They're better then. Now I see where she's playing at. I raise an eyebrow and Sayori notices. Why are you looking at me like that, Midas? I have a nagging suspicion that you're only trying to convince me to come because you don't have any money. You just want me to buy you a snack. I would never do that. That's such a Sayori thing to do. Then let's see your purse. Uh-huh. Your purse. Come on, let's see it. Saya laughs awkward as she pulls out her purse. She opens it and dumps its contents onto the desks. 2 small coins fall out. Tisk, tisk, tisk. This little rouse might actually work had Sayori not pulled it on me numerous times when we were younger. The amount of time she managed to trick me into buying her another ice cream. I guess some things never change. Nice try, Sayori. No fair. How did you know? Now, wouldn't you like to know? Let's just call it intuition. In response, she sticks her tongue out at me. Typical. Yuri suddenly giggles. Eh? I didn't notice she was eavesdropping. Looking over in her direction, I catch her peeking over the top of her book. I wasn't listening or anything. That was just something in the book. Yuri, still might have let me borrow some money. That's none of my business, Sayori. Besides, you should only buy what you can responsibly afford. It's shameful to manipulate people into doing or buying things for you. Wow, isn't that a little harsh? I'm only messing around with Sayori after all. I didn't mean that. That came out much harsher than I intended. Sorry, Yuri blushes in embarrassment, looking away from us while playing with the strand of her hair. I apologize for how I've been acting lately. It looks like she still might be a bit ashamed of how she acted yesterday. You know, it's okay to be honest sometimes. You shouldn't always keep things that bother you to yourself. There's no way you could think that after. You were right though. I shouldn't trick people into buying me things. Funny how your 10-year-old self didn't see it that way. Yuri lets out a small laugh, covering her mouth with her hand. Even the way she laughs is so shy and proper. And is this mischievous behavior something Sayori used to display as a child then? Yeah, although back then I fell for it, time and time again. You wouldn't believe how much candy Sayori managed to con me out of. What? Don't make me out of me so sneaky, Midas. All of those candies were so good. I'm surprised, Sayori, coming from you. I guess there's a little devil inside all of us, isn't there? What's going on here? Oh, nothing much. Sayori here was just up to some mischief. Oh? Yeah, she tried to trick me into buying her a snack. Yay, that's not true. Monica smiles wryly and turns to me. I'm assuming this isn't the first time. Well, you'd be right. We all share a small chuckle at that. Everyone except Sayori does. Hey, you guys are being mean. Okay, we're sorry, but you did bring this upon yourself. And I'm wondering, how will this play out soon? Yeah, I know. But in my defense, I am really hungry. Well, Natsuki chimes in. If you're really that hungry, you can have this if you want. She offers up a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. Sayori immediately snatches it out of her hands. Thank you. Sayori hugs the cookie. Jeez, just eat it. Sayori rapidly tears open the wrapper and takes a big bite. Sure good. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. I bit my tongue. Huh. You're going through a lot over just one cookie. Natsuki takes a bite of her own cookie. Yours looks really good too, Natsuki. Can I try it? Jeez. Burgers can't be choosers. But yours is chocolate. Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine. Still, I'm really happy you shared this one with me. Hehe. Sayori gets out of her seat and goes behind Natsuki and then wraps her arms around her. Jeez. I get it. Cookie still in hand, Natsuki reaches up to nudge Sayori off of her. Not a good idea. Sayori suddenly leads down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Hey! Did you seriously just do that? Not full, Sayori trots away to safety. Yuri, Monica, and I laugh as well. Jeez, you're just a kid sometimes. Monica, can you tell Sayori to quit taking my stuff? Sayori, you know you shouldn't do something like that without permission. Monica scolds Sayori. I know. I'm sorry, Natsuki. But it was so good. Hey, everyone but Natsuki chuckles. These things happen a lot, Monica. A little bit too much, to be honest. Don't worry, it's all in good fun. Good fun is teasing each other from time to time, not stealing food. Calm down, it's no big deal. Natsuki pouts in her seat. Everyone calms down and quickly returns to their normal activities. Sayori has already managed to finish the entire cookie. Meanwhile, Natsuki gets up and heads for the closet, and Yuri is already lost in her book. Midas! She suddenly comes up to me. I need to get some stuff from another classroom. Can you come with me? Stuff? What stuff? Do you know the festival's going right around the corner? Monica was gonna make some posters to advertise it. So we'll need to get some crayons and markers and glue sticks and that kind of stuff. Right. I'll come with you. Sure. Yay! We'll be back soon, Monica. You seem quite excited about this, Sayori. Of course. It's so much fun exploring empty classrooms, isn't that right, Midas? Monica laughs and nods at us. Okay, just don't forget the poster paper. I won't. Ready, Midas? Let's go. Sayori and I exit the club room. I follow behind as she humps and skips around the hallway. Honestly, feels like I'm taking a kid to the mall or something. Sayori finds pleasure in the simplest of things sometimes. Everything's like an adventure to her. Hey Sayori, what exactly are we doing for the festival anyway? I'm not sure how you would make an event out of literature. One guy and I have all planned it out. Don't you worry. Is that so? Yup. We're gonna do a poetry performance. A performance? Of what kind? Well, everyone's gonna take turns on stage. and recite their favorite poems. Ah, that sounds not exactly boring, but will people be that interested? Midas, you're not thinking about it the right way at all. It's not just about reading poems, it's about performing them. Like, you say the lines of the poem like, between my feet, the last remaining flower beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots, caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers. To what ends have I summoned this joy? For now, when I look in every direction, the once prosperous field before me. I misread that, sorry. Is what a barren wasteland? Like that. Oh, Sayori, I had no idea you had that in you. What do you mean? I just never heard you talk like that before. No, it's not a bad thing. It was really good, it was just a big conscious for your bubbly self. I'm sure Yuri and Monica would really appreciate it too. I've been working super hard on that poem, so it's good to know you like it. I'm excited for the festival. Not just because we'll get to eat loads of stuff like Natsuki said. Hey, no, not just because of that. Although that is part of it. Hey Midas, this classroom here is empty. I think we'll find what we need in here. Let's start our mission. Strange choice of words for someone going into a classroom to get art supplies. But hey, that's pretty much Sayori in a nutshell. Living in her own little world. Her childlike enthusiasm is infectious and brings about a special feeling I forgot I had in me. Some kind of innocent sense of wonder. Where even the most mundane of tasks are quests, and looking down the classroom is a magical journey. The two of us enter the classroom. Sayori heads straight for the closet and I follow. Let's see what we have in here. Crayons! Sayori pulls out a box full of crayons off the shelf. You're the best friend too. You're kinda dirty though. Sayori starts pulling various crayons out of the box, reading the color names. Alright, that's one down. Don't get distracted. We still need to find... Wait, I'm looking for my favorite color! Fine. Can you move on over so that I can look for the poster paper? I dropped one by accident. Yikes. Smack. Yeah! Sayori bends over and smacks her forehead right into the shelf. She falls onto the floor and the crayons spill all over her lap. Ow. Sayori, are you okay? My forehead. She clutches her forehead. What happened? Did you cut it? Is it bruised or... No, nothing like that. I think I just bumped it. And I think cutting her head off a bump is a bit over-exaggerating. Jeez, Sayori, you really had me worried for a second there. I can't help but let out a chuckle. This is such a typical thing to happen to Sayori. It's almost like she's gotten clumsy written all across her forehead. Which, fittingly enough, is where she hurt herself. Hey, what are you laughing at, you meanie? Sorry, I'm not laughing at you or anything. It's just this is so typical of you. What does that meant to mean? Nothing. Let me see your forehead. Since Sayori is sitting on the floor, I grab her by the waist and pull her out of the closet. You have to move your hands, Sayori. But it hurts. I'll be gentle. I promise, it won't hurt. Sayori slowly releases her hands from her... yeah, I read that right, I thought head. Her hands from her forehead. I gently brush her bangs to the side. Ow! Sorry. There's a huge red mark on the center of her forehead. A bump is starting to form as well. And don't worry, it's not that bad. It really hurts. Her whimpering triggers a really strong protective instinct I didn't know I had. Hey, I'll get you some mice. They'll keep the swelling down and it should relieve a bit of the pain. Just stay here, okay? I'll be back as soon as I can. Actually, where would I find some ice? Think, Midas, think. I got it, a cold drink should do the trick. Are you sure? You don't have to... I think I'll make a great unicorn. Even wincing from the pain, Sayori makes a silly joke. I'm sure I'll make a great unicorn, but I think I prefer you as a human. Unicorns are cool though. I'll be right back, okay? Okay. I pat Sayori on the shoulder and ran out into the hallway. I locate the nearest vending machine. What should I get? I guess it doesn't really matter because she won't be even drinking it. But I know Sayori likes apple juice, I purchased that one. In just a moment, I'm already returning to the classroom where I left Sayori. She has one palm on her forehead and is using the other hand to clumsily scoop crayons back into the box. At least they're already in the wrong spots before I spilled them. Here you go. I hand Sayori the bottle of apple juice. It's nice and cold. Sayori opens the cap and starts drinking from it. Sayori. What are you doing? It's for your forehead, you idiot. Sorry, I forgot. How hard did it hit your head? Well, I don't know, but I think we kind of forgot that she basically tried to trick us into buying her food, and here we are, we brought her a free drink. Sayori places the bottle against the bump on her head. Immediately her laughter subsides, released by a gasp of pain. It stings. I know. I'm sorry. You'll feel better soon though, I promise. Looks like you've cleaned up most of the crayons, so that's good. Hey, Midas? This kind of reminds you of growing up, doesn't it? What do you mean? You know how we used to play outside all the time? I would always try to keep up with you. You were kind of oblivious in some ways. Like I usually fell behind or had trouble climbing on the things you did. But sometimes when I tried to do things I couldn't, I would get myself hurt. I'd fall and scrape myself or get a bump. I would start crying really hard. And you'd rush over as quick as you could. You would try really hard to get me to stop crying. It was almost like you all blamed yourself and you were afraid of getting in trouble if someone found out. Or someone found out, rather. Even though it wasn't really your fault at all, you know? I remember those days, Sayori. You were always so clumsy. I mean, even until now. I guess not much has changed, haha. Hey, I did this deliberately, you know? I raise an eyebrow. I've always wanted to be a unicorn. That has to be perhaps the least believable excuse I've heard in a while. Okay, I guess I never really been on the graceful side. I did always feel bad whenever you got hurt and you played together. Looking back, I should have been more mindful of what you could and couldn't do. I guess it's the same here. If I hadn't rushed you out of the closet. Or if I hadn't rushed you out of the closet, rather, you probably wouldn't have hurt yourself. My mother was right. She'd scold me after you got hurt. Anyways, telling me I had to be more careful around you. Or always to be careful, rather. Midas, don't feel bad about it. It's my own fault for being so clumsy. Besides, even if I got hurt, those times are still my favorite memories of us. It also made me realize how thoughtful you are. I wasn't thoughtful at all. I just got you hurt. No, that's not what I mean. You're always looking out for me. Even after all these years, you always rush to help me. No matter what the situation, you're always there to reassure me and make me feel safe. I think I kinda know, or yeah, I think I kinda see why people are loving the Sayori rather, and why I'm about to love it. I mean, it's pretty obvious that they'll play on the childhood dynamic, but I wonder how it'll play out, and I'm even more excited now, to be honest. I don't really do this kind of thing all the time. It's just around you. I guess it feels natural. I just do it subconsciously, but before I know it, I'm treating you like that. Guess it's what it happens when you're been friends for so long. I don't know if I told you this before, but I'm really grateful we're friends, Midas. We're about to be more than that very soon, Sayori. I'll admit, I kinda missed you over the years. We used to hang out a lot. I was surprised when you approached me the other day. I wasn't really sure what to make of it all at first. But as we got to hang out in the club, share poems and walk home, I realized that nothing has really changed. Or nothing had really changed, rather. Do you think we'll be like this forever, Midas? As much as I want to say yes, there's no telling how life will be for us during college or even afterwards. Still, can't be positive though. I sure hope so, Sayori. It's been this long already, right? I can't imagine you ever changing, so my hopes are up. We haven't really talked in years, and when we do, it's just like nothing has really changed. I think I read somewhere that there's a sign of a friendship that's built to last. So here's hoping. I hope so too. I'm so happy. Sayori has a whimsical expression in her eyes. He remains silent for a moment. Who would have guessed that such a simple action to get some crayons would have resulted in such a heartfelt moment? And again, with Sayori, it's impossible to tell. Anyway, I guess we should go back. I don't want to worry Monica, you know. Good luck with that. She's gonna see our forehead either way. How do I hide it under my bangs? Sayori hops to her feet. Ah! She clutches her forehead again. Sayori! Don't stand up so fast after hurting yourself. Sorry. Well, I guess it's too late now. Anyway, let's go. I follow Sayori out of the classroom. Sayori plays with her bangs to try and hide the bump, but without much success. In a moment, we make it back to the club room. You're back! Good timing. I was just about ready to start with our sharing poems. Sayori, your forehead. I was playing with the crayons and smacked my forehead into the shelf. Are you okay, Sayori? Yeah, I'm fine. Midas got me a nice cold drink. Right, okay. Glad you're okay, Sayori. Did you get everything we needed? Uh-huh. I have it right. Sayori frantically glances around herself. I forgot all the stuff. Calm down, Sayori. I have it all right here. I found the poster paper too. Aha! Sounds like you ended up doing all the work, Midas. Oh, well. Sayori. I failed to come up with an excuse for Sayori. I made it an adventure! Yeah, that. Okay. In any case, good work. I'll start working on the posters tonight. Thanks, you two. Okay, everyone. Are you ready to share your poems? Guess I should grab mine. After making sure the crayon box is closed tightly, I return to my seat. Jeez, I wonder how Sayori will react, because I made sure I did all 20 words. But of course, we'll start with Monica. Hi again, Midas. I'm trusting that the club's been doing you well. Same answer as yesterday. That's nice to hear. So how's the writing doing? Or writing going, rather. Alright, I guess. Just... alright. No, I guess I should say that it's revolutionized my world and brought color into my previously lifeless life. Well, I say that, but the club, if not the poetry, really has made my days more interesting. Okay. Can't admit the sarcasm, mister. At least you're not hating it though, right? Nah, it's been an interesting experience at least. Gives me a new hobby to do. I'm happy that you're applying yourself at least. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. I think I kinda came up with one now. I wouldn't count on that, Monica. You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today? Sure, here you go. I gave my poem to Monica. Alright. I can see that you put in some good effort there. Very sincere poem once again, and very similar to Sayori's poetry. You might still have more in common with her than you think. Maybe. It's easier to write about from my heart when I'm thinking about nostalgic things. So that might be it. Writing poetry while wearing rose-tinted glasses, I see. Well, it's not like I do it intentionally. That's just how my brain works. I mean, even if you did, there's nothing wrong with that. Poetry can be seen as another way to express your inner emotions. A way that you can use when ordinary prose can't quite describe what's in your mind. So writing about how your long-lost childhood friend makes you feel is just as valid as, say, writing about the human condition is inherently full of conflict. I'm guessing that the latter is more of a Yuri poem. You might think that, but actually, a style like Sayori's could still fit that theme just as well. How do you figure? Well, first off, have you ever heard of the poet Robert Frost? I think I have. Probably in an English class somewhere. I wouldn't be surprised if you learned about him in English class. He's an incredibly famous American poet after all. Anyway, it's easy to recognize his poetry, since he always used classic meters and tones of monologues and dialogues. He was also pretty fond of themes centering around nature in New England. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that doesn't really sound anything like Sayori's poetry. No, you're actually right. She doesn't have the lyricism that Frost does, and not too many of their themes intersect. Then what do they have in common? I guess that the mood of their poetry is what strikes me as similar. Both of them write incredibly sincere and powerful poems, even though they aren't mind-bogglingly complex or anything. And although their poems may seem to be about one thing at first, with another read-through you might find that there's actually a deeper meaning behind the words. That sounds a bit more like Sayori's poetry, alright? Is she really that deep? Midas, you shouldn't really underestimate Sayori. In fact, why don't you ask her for another look at her poetry? Then you'll see what I mean. Alright. I'll talk to her about it sometime. But in the meantime, you wanna show me your poem now? I think it's about time we let your poem shine. Sure thing, Midas. I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too. Alright, let's take a look. Nothing really new. This is pretty much basically about her being in a computer and all. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? Really freeform too, if that's what you call it. I guess it's just the way I write. I'm sorry if you don't like it. No, I never said that. It's just the kind of thing I never really seen before, I guess. The other girls don't do this stuff near as much as you do, at least. Yeah, you could say that they're a bit more traditional when it comes to their structure. But I kind of like playing with my space in the paper. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. It fragments everything and leaves a dissonant tone with the reader. I see. I guess that there's a lot of things you can do with poetry. Definitely, poetry is very much an art form. You're meant to craft poems using never-before-seen combinations of words to interpret the world around you. You really love poetry, huh? Maybe you should write a poem about poetry someday. That's not a bad idea. Anyway, it's still hard for me to tell what your poem's about. Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract and as physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monka's writing tip of the day. Are you ever too shy to share your writing because you're afraid it's not that good? Now, we've all have to experience that at this point with the poetry discussions and all. But it can be really disheartening to get a lukewarm response to something you put so much into. If you find other people who enjoy writing though, then sharing it becomes a lot easier. Because instead of just telling you that your writing is good or okay or bad, they'll want to focus more on everything that went into it. And the things you can work on. It's much more encouraging that way, and it will make you want to continue improving. Yeah, that definitely sounds more helpful, getting real criticism and feedback rather than just empty words. I guess I really hit the mother lode with the literature club. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Well, my poem is pretty much, in a sense, deep, so I'll leave Yuri third, Natsuki's next. Well, not bad, but not good. Honestly, it's just like your first poem. Yeah, I did kinda try to write it like my first one. Although I did attempt to make it a little bit better. Well, mission accomplished, I guess. Still, same things as the last time. Try to make it more creative. It's just kinda bland as it is. Noted. Yeah, I should probably show you mine. Here. I still kind of remember this. Because I did the Yuri route, and this is pretty much what a poem that states Natsuki's anger towards Yuri. So, what do you think? I mean, it's well written at least. I'm not sure how I should confront Natsuki about this, but to say that she still holds a grudge from yesterday would be an understatement. God forbid Yuri to see this poem. Well, that's a given. But yeah, you could say that I was inspired, and I'm pretty sure that I know where were you inspired. It felt really good to pound out these lines. Poetry's an amazing emotional outlet, you know. Anyway, I can't wait to show you this poem. Oh wait, hold on. What? Natsuki, do you really think that showing her this poem is a good idea? You're really good at her throat with this. Don't you think that you should work out your issues with her? Yeah. Well, she never tries to see things my way. So why should I? I think that's the wrong way to go about this. Relationships are a two-way street. People have to work to make things right together. Why don't you try being the bigger person and just talk to her first? But I already know that she's not going to try. She's just always so preoccupied with looking complicated and smart. It's clear to me that she doesn't care if anyone can understand her, including me. Can't understand her if you don't even try. She might speak using a more complex vocabulary, and she may have mannerisms that seem strange to you. But from what I've seen from the both of you, she's more similar to you than you might think. Eh? That's... Aren't you judging the book by its cover right now? But whatever. You can't hold this grudge forever, you know. At least think of Monica and Sayori. Fine, I won't show Yuri my poem. Are you happy? I won't be happy until you try to talk to her. She's not going to bite, Natsuki. Alright, I get it. I'll try to talk to her sometime. Thanks. You're gonna do the club proud. Shut it. Man, now I have to hide this poem away. I worked really hard on it, you know? You could easily turn that energy away towards more positive things though, right? I guess so. I'm just frustrated that my poem's message missed the mark this time. You should always try to make something people can take a message from. Remember that. Anyway, I'm gonna write a good one tomorrow, so just you wait. Would you like me to take a look at your poem? If it's anything like yesterday's, it should be wonderful. How can I put this? Yuri takes a deep breath. I think it's a good thing to experiment with style, Midas. This looks like something Sayori or Monica would write, doesn't it? Or perhaps Natsuki. I doubt Natsuki would write like this, but Sayori or Monica, I guess. Well, I guess I wanted to try writing in their stance a bit, you know? I scratched the back of my head sheepishly. Why do I feel embarrassed saying that? Yes, I figured as much. But of course, that's completely fine. I know my style is a bit convoluted, so it's understandable that you wouldn't like it. At the end of the day, I write for myself, not for anyone else. So what's one more person's approval, right? Disapproval, I mean. What's one more person's disapproval? Yuri smiles weakly. Yuri? Eh? I really don't think it's anything like that. Just because your poems are different in structure, I don't think that means I dislike yours. If anything, your style's really good. And I think if I tried to emulate you, it'd come off as a really poor copy, you know? I see. Please forgive me. Sometimes my thoughts just fly away from me like that. Anyway, pushing the boundaries in poetry can be a great thing. Metaphors might seem complicated sometimes, but don't stress them too much. And of course, you might choose images that can capture the message of what you're trying to get across. I think the first things that come to mind are probably the clearest. Even if the metaphor doesn't seem to make sense, it can force your reader to think about something they wouldn't normally. That's one way to truly enable your reader to see into your mind. It's a very intimate exercise. I see. I think I might give that a go with my next poem. Thank you for sharing that with me, Yuri. Well, if you'd like to see an example of that, I've written something that captures that essence. Sure, I'd love to take a look. If it's something you've written, I'm sure it'll floor me. Yuri smiles shyly, handing me her poem. Much the same. Cannot remember this a bit. I felt a bit guilty about that after yesterday's argument with Natsuki. I wanted to experiment with my style a bit more. Hopefully it's not too confusing. No, it's fine. Even if it's a bit more involved than yesterday's, I still like it. I'm noticing a lot more symbolism as well. I don't want to assume anything but the tone of this poem. I'm not sure how to describe it. Yes, I really wanted to test my abilities in creative expression. I didn't go too far now, did I? No, it's really good. I just don't know if I'm good enough at this to do the meaning. If I had to explain it, I'd say it's about a closely guarded secret. I imagine everyone has a little something like that. Something they're forced to keep to themselves for fear of ridicule. It's nice to be able to write about that sort of thing every now and then. If it's something you enjoy doing, shouldn't you write about it more? Well, it's not that simple. It's something I'm uncomfortable talking about. I'm not sure people will understand. If anyone were to find out about it, well, I guess as long as it's not hurting anyone, people shouldn't cry. But she's hurting herself. You think so? Sorry, I was just thinking of something. It's a good point though. The best I can do is try to embrace my own weirdness, right? Otherwise, I think I'd hate myself. Sorry to keep you so long. Thank you for allowing me to ramble. Yuri. Still having a hangover from the Yuri rap. But hey, let's celebrate. Celebrate. I mean, let's see what Sayori would say. Midas, the poems are seriously amazing. I can't believe you never told me how good of a poet you are. Huh? Sayori, I'm not that great. You're the only one who likes my poems this much. Really? You telling me Yuri and Natsuki didn't love them? Well, Yuri didn't think it was a bad poem, but she wasn't as positive as you are. I don't think my style really matches hers. Oh, don't worry about her. She's got a super unique way of writing anyway. What about Natsuki? Well, I get the impression that Natsuki is the least likely to admit how much she likes something. I don't think it's that though. That's what makes her cute. Huh? I guess I'll be honest with you. I find it easier to write poems when I'm thinking about our memories together. Eh? Really? Sounds a bit strange now, doesn't it? I nervously laugh, noticing the blush that's crept on Sayori's cheeks. I don't know. I feel like my life's kinda boring. Like whatever happens in it, it's just literally that. Whereas with you, well, whenever I look back on our memories, everything seemed to be such an adventure whenever you were around. Like when you went exploring in that forest near our house ages ago. You made it seem like it was an exciting adventure. Kinda like we were both archaeologists or something. Whereas if I went there myself, I just think I was going for a stroll in the forest. I glance over at Sayori. She has a faraway look on her face, wearing a wistful smile. Yeah, I remember that. I was convinced there were spooky trolls out there. That's exactly what I mean. You've got such a vivid imagination. And I guess I can tap into that imagination whenever I'm thinking about you. We have this sort of connection. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And it's still there, even after all these years. I think I sort of understand what you mean. Can I ask you a favor, Midas? What's up? Can I, keep this? Why not? I made it for you. This is the first time you've written something for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude or anything, but I didn't write it for you. What do you mean? All of those words were Sayori words. I made sure all 20 were. But okay, you can keep it. I still don't think my poetry skills are anything special. I can have it? Yay! Thank you! Anyway, I still need to read yours. Oh, I totally forgot. It's nowhere near as good as yours, though. I'm sure I'll like it. Among all of the three, Sayori's poems are probably the ones I remember the most, considering, I don't know, they're pretty much easy to figure out what's the message behind them, and this is basically, I want everyone to be happy even if I myself aren't happy. But we'll change that later on. We're gonna make her happy eventually. Wow, Sayori. I didn't expect this at all. Did you really write this? Of course I did. Remember I said I'd write the best poem ever yesterday? Well, here it is. After all, Monica has taught me a lot. And I've been really in touch with my feelings recently. So that's what the poem's about. I suppose that was much obvious. Unlike Yuri or Monica's poems, Sayori's are relatively simple to figure out. Even much more simpler than Natsuki's, if I'm gonna be honest. So if I have interpreted this correctly, you're basically doing everything you can to keep your friends happy. Yay, you got it! I really enjoyed writing this one. Just getting your thoughts out onto paper and writing them into a poem, it's like magic. Well, I think it's amazing. You should be really proud of it. Thank you, Midas. It means a lot. I didn't think it was that good though. Nah, it's great. Seriously. I can't help but notice the latter half of the poem isn't quite as cheery. In fact, it's somewhat alarming. Very large contrast from the cheeriness I'm used to with Sayori. Maybe I'm looking into this a little much, but isn't the end of the poem dark? And you said you've been in touch with your feelings recently, so I'm just checking. Is everything okay? Of course, silly. Not. I forgot to tell you, I really like writing about bittersweet stuff. Stuff that isn't just happy or sad. A mixture of the two. And this poem shows what I mean. It's just my writing style. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Well, either way, I'm glad you're enjoying writing so much. I hope you can keep it up. Good to have a hobby. Of course, and hopefully you'll also stick with it. So I'll look forward to seeing all the poems you write in the future. Well, no guarantees there, but seeing from the passion in Sayori's eyes, it's hard to be pessimistic. Okay, everyone. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? Actually, Natsuki and I haven't shared yet. I can feel the storm coming on. Yuri hesitantly approaches Natsuki, who isn't reading her eyes. Well, considering Natsuki's poem for the day, it's no wonder that she doesn't want to share with Yuri. What do you mean? She really wanted to show Yuri her poem. Judging by Monica and Sayori's anxious expressions, they seem to be thinking along the same lines as I am. And practically see Natsuki sweating pinballs. Meanwhile, Yuri appears to be blissfully unaware of the situation. I'd convinced Natsuki to reconcile with Yuri, but if she sees Natsuki's poem, it's all over. So Natsuki, if I may... how about you do some more instead? I'm not feeling well. It's my time of the month. I could practically see Monica internally face-palming. Natsuki must have forgotten that the club isn't all girls anymore. I don't really see a problem in that. Is that so? I'm sorry, you must feel absolutely terrible if you can't even share your poem today. You don't need to apologize, it's not your fault. I can definitely share tomorrow. Well, even if you aren't well enough to share your own poem, would you like to see mine? I wrote it thinking of our argument the other day. I suppose that I wanted to show you that I'm more open-minded than I may have appeared. As a way of repenting. I know it's not much, but hopefully this can contribute to a reconciliation between us. Although we may have our disagreements, I would like to consider you a friend. And friends forgive each other. Natsuki's all guilty. Sorry if this is presumptuous of me to say. No, it's not presumptuous of you to say that. Because I'd like to consider you a friend too. So you can hand over that poem then. With a shy smile, Yuri hands the sheet of paper in her hands over to Natsuki. As Natsuki reads the poem, her eyes widen. You're writing using rhyme and stuff like me? You could say that you convinced me to practice adding more lyricism to my poetry. Natsuki looks like she's speechless for once. Thanks, Yuri. It's awesome. There's really no need to thank me. Well, I'm really glad that I got to know you. And I'll definitely have something that'll knock your socks off tomorrow. I mean, you have one right now, but it'll knock off your socks the wrong way. And I'll be looking forward to that. I do hope that you feel better tomorrow as well, so that you can share your work with me then. Ah, yeah, of course. That was a crisis and a half avoided. I'm really glad that Natsuki and Yuri worked things out. And it seems that Monika and Sayori feel the same way. It's good to see everyone getting along. Now that we are done sharing though, I have something to discuss with you all. It's a great opportunity for expanding the club that's coming up. Is this about the festival? You could say that. Do we really have to do something? It's only in a few days, so it's not like we'll be able to come up with anything good. Yes, that's something I'm concerned about as well. With such little time left to prepare, I doubt that we'll be able to put together anything good enough to attract new members. Yeah, we'll just end up embarrassing ourselves. Oh, don't you worry so much. We're going to keep it simple, okay? Nothing more than a few decorations. I can design some pamphlets to hand out at the event, and Sayori made posters to put up around the school. Okay, it's great and all, but that doesn't tell us what we're actually doing for the event. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to put on a poetry performance. What? Monika, everyone is going to choose a poem to recite out loud. It doesn't have to be written by you, as long as you put your heart into the recitation. Although, of course, it'd be great if you showed off your own work. And the cool part is, we're going to let anyone else come up and recite their poems too. Yeah! I put a thing on the poster that says, bring your own poems. That's gonna be so cool! Sayori pulls out a poster out of her bag and holds it up for us to see. Are you kidding me, Monika? Don't tell me you started putting those posters up already. Well, I did. Do you really think it's that bad of an idea? Well, you didn't even ask us before you started advertising. We never agreed to stand up in front of a bunch of random people and perform our poems. Now, I agree with Natsuki. I could never in my life do something like that. Imagining it, Yuri shakes her head in fear. Guys... Yes, let's please calm down and take a moment to think about it. I understand that you two haven't had much experience sharing your poems out loud. In fact, we all haven't done that much. I still think we should try our best. Look around. Monika motions to all of us. We're all here because we have a passion for literature and this club. Don't you want to share that passion with other people? To inspire them to pursue their inner writer? Yeah! It's all about exploring yourself and trying new things, all while having fun. Monika and I nod our heads in agreement. Natsuki and Yuri, on the other hand, remain silent. Guess that means it's my turn to say something. I mean, I don't think it's that much to ask. As Monika said, we're all here because we care about the club and we want to see it flourish. And if that means a 2-minute poetry performance, I think we can manage. Sayori and Monika's faces light up as I finish speaking. Hey, it isn't that we don't care about the club. It's just, do we really have to perform? We know how hard it is to get new members. It's because people are just narrow-minded jerks. You don't even give literature a chance. Who's to say this festival will be any different? I'm inclined to agree with Natsuki. Sorry, Monica. I know how much you want to do this, but I just can't imagine performing in front of a crowd of strangers. Well, at least Yuri and Natsuki have proven they can agree on something. Monica sighs, her eyes closed as she rubs her temples. Look guys, I know you're anxious. I understand, I really do. To be honest with you, I'm a little nervous myself. After all, it's my club, so people are going to judge me the most if our performance doesn't go well. Natsuki, if it makes you feel any better, a few of my friends will be coming along. They're all lovely people. They won't judge you for your tastes. I've known them for a few years, trust me. Natsuki huffs, turning away. She doesn't look particularly convinced. And Yuri, I know it's a scary thought, but I've thought of a way to ease you into it. Why don't we start by practicing our pose to each other in the club? No way! Monica! This is too sudden. Well, if you can't recite your pose in front of the club, how do you expect to do it in front of strangers? But... Monica, there's just gotta be something else we can do. Yuri nods vigorously at Natsuki's words, anxious anxiety written all over her face. But guys... No, Sayori, it's okay. If you guys really think we can do better than a poetry performance, then I'll gladly go along with an alternative. So, any ideas? An awkward silence fills the room. We all glance at each other anxiously before Sayori finally speaks up. Oh, we could. Sayori stops and thinks to herself for a moment. Wait, no, never mind. That wouldn't work. Once again, the room falls silent. Well then, I guess we can't come up with something different after all. Monica laughs, attempting to ease the tension in the room. That's not a very good thing to do if you're trying to ease tension. I know you guys might not be the most on board with this idea, but I think it's our best option. Please, guys. Please. Can you stop pressuring us? I'm honestly surprised Natsuki is putting up such a resistance. I knew she was a little hot-headed, but even still. I'm not pressuring you, Natsuki. Both of them have raised their voice. Yuri looks a little startled, and Sayori looks anxious to intervene. Guys, please! There's no need to get angry. Can't we just discuss this normally? Monica reflects on Sayori's words, looking a little ashamed of her outburst. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to raise my voice, it's just... the festival is important to me is all. Ever since I created this club, I always wanted to show other people. Natsuki, Yuri, I imagine you were both a little apprehensive when Midas joined, right? After all, he was an unfamiliar face. She smiles warmly at me. But look, he's integrating really well. He's made the effort to get to know us in our individual writing styles. She then turns to Yuri. And Yuri, remember at the start when they asked you for a book recommendation? Yuri nods, and Monica shoots her a knowing smile. Must have been lovely. Being able to share a book you're so passionate about with a new person, right? Yes, it was enjoyable discussing it with you, Midas. Yeah, likewise. It isn't something I normally read, so without you, it would have been gone by unnoticed. See, guys? Maybe we'll find more people who are just as into horror, Yuri. More like-minded people. Oh, come on. I mean, that isn't an appealing idea. Yes, of course. But really, my biggest issue is with the actual performance aspect of the festival. Well, like I said, I know it's a scary thought, performing in front of a bunch of strangers, but trust me, when I say I have faith in all of you. In all of you. Your poems are amazing, guys. I just know people will love them. It's almost criminal not to show them off. So, what do you think, guys? For me? For us? Fine. Still don't think this is a good idea, but fine. I'll do it. Just stop guilt-tripping us. Phew. Thanks, Natsuki. And you, Yuri? Yuri nervously glances at each of our expectant faces. Monica, what if people start being inconsiderate and disturb us or laugh? I'm not surprised Yuri is worried about this. Oh, don't you worry, if anyone steps out of the line, I'll put a swift stop to that. She has a stern glint in her eye, and I have to repress a shiver. I'm glad she's with us. Yuri looks somewhat relieved, but it's clear she's still worried. She swallows and nods. I suppose I don't really have a choice now, do I? I shake my head. Okay, I'll do it. Yay! That's everyone. You're the best, Yuri. This club is seriously going to be the death of me. I know you'll do great, Yuri. Just trust me. But anyway, let's move back onto the main event. While we have some time, I want each of you to choose a poem of yours to practice reciting in front of each other. Yuri and Natsuki exchange uneasy glances but don't say anything. Don't you worry. I'll go first so everyone feels a little more comfortable. Can I go next? Of course, Sayori. Now let's see. Monica flips through her notebook, searching for a specific poem. Here we are. The title of this poem is The Way They Fly. Monica begins reciting her poem. Her clear, confident voice fills the room. Her eyes move across the page, to sync with her lips. Every word has the perfect amount of emotion put into it, making the poem almost come to life. Her inflection is extraordinary. I'm impressed, and judging by a quick glance around me, so is everyone else. Sayori looks amazed. Yuri has that intense expression on her face that I don't understand. Even Natsuki's once sour attitude is faced by awe. Finally, Monica finishes the recitation. The four of us applaud. Monica takes a deep breath and smiles. That was so good, Monica. Thank you so much. I was just hoping to set a good example. Are you ready to go next, Sayori? Yep. Sayori jumps up from her chair and takes Monica's place at the front of the room. This poem is called... How did you know it's so easy, Monica? Well, try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. It's your poem, so it'll come out best that way. Oh, I think I get it. Sayori nods to herself. Anyway, this poem is called My Meadow. Sayori begins reciting her poem. It seems as if her soft voice is a perfect match. As for the poem itself, it has a similar tone when compared to her other ones. It's peaceful yet somber at the same time. Bittersweet, as she'd say. Hearing the poem in Sayori's voice almost gives it an entirely new meaning. I think this is what Sayori means when she says she likes my poems. It's like seeing a whole new side of someone you thought you knew completely. Sayori finishes and we all applaud. I did it! Yep, good job. Sayori beams as she walks back to her seat. So, who'd like to go next? Natsuki, Yuri, and I all looked at each other nervously. I opened my mouth, but Yuri beats me to the punch. I'll go! Nice! Thanks for taking initiative, Yuri. Yes. Yuri rushes over to the podium, clutching a sheet of paper in her hands. This poem is called... Yuri freezes as she looks up at us. You can do it, Yuri. It's called After the Image of a Crimson Eye. Yuri begins to recite her poem. Her voice is shaky at first, but the more she reads, the more confident she becomes. It's similar to what happens when she gets absorbed in her books. The shy and apprehensive Yuri I'm used to see is replaced by a fierce and confident woman. The poem itself is like a maze in its structure with twists and turns in every line. But Yuri is unfazed and initiates each word with perfect timing. This must be a rare glimpse of the whirling fire that Yuri keeps concealed inside her head. Suddenly, she's finished. Everyone is stunned. Yuri snaps back into reality and glances around her, as if she bewildered even herself. Monica is the first to start applauding. Sheepishly, I follow along, and soon the clubroom is filled with the sound of applause. Yuri ducks her head in embarrassment, a shy smile creeping over her face. Yuri, that was really good. Like I said, you don't have anything to worry about. Thank you for sharing. Thanks. Guess Yuri's done for today. So, when to do next? Natsuki? Why should I go before Midas? It's not like I can compare to you guys anyway. Might as well let Midas lower everyone's expectations before I go. Natsuki? Monica hastens to chastise her, shooting me a sympathizing look. That was kind of rude, don't you think? You should apologize to Midas. Natsuki's face turns red as the girls all turn and look at her. I decided to spare Natsuki from the embarrassment. Hey, it's really no big deal. I'll end up going at some point anyway. Might as well do it now. I'm wondering how will this play out if I do Natsuki. Thing is, I don't have much of a selection to choose from. I'll just have to go with what I wrote for today. I stand up and step in front of the podium. Everyone has their eyes on me, making me feel terribly awkward. I take a deep breath. In my head, I repeat myself the advice that Monica gave to Sayori. Try to imagine you're alone, like you're reciting it to yourself. Alone. My house is the first thing that comes into mind when I think of being alone. The scene rapidly develops in my head like I'm recalling a recent memory. Sitting alone at my desk. The dim light hanging from the ceiling gives me a warmth to the room. In front of me is the poem I had just finished. The ink from my pen still fresh on the page. I pick up the notebook and begin reciting it out loud. While I'm not the most confident in it, I still try to put energy into it. I can almost hear my voice echoing off my bedroom walls. As I finish, a sound of applause pulls me out of my daydream. I back into the club room, standing at the podium with the girls applauding my performance. That was good, Midas. I guess. Oh, not be so hard on yourself. I don't think it's your writing abilities, but you rather lack confidence. Is that weighs you down? That's something that'll improve over time though, so don't you worry. Yeah, okay. Thanks. Alright then. That just leaves you, Natsuki. Yeah. I'm going. As she says this, Natsuki begrudgingly gets out of her seat and makes her way to the podium. This poem is called... It's called... Stop looking at me! But you're presenting... You don't have to stare right into my soul though. She takes a moment to compose herself. Anyway, the poem is called Jump. Natsuki takes a breath. While her voice is unenthusiastic, the poem has a surprising amount of energy to it. The rhyme tie into each other seamlessly, creating a flow that moves the poem along at a brisk pace. The words seem to bounce up and down with the rhythm, seemingly making the poem come to life. It's Natsuki's signature style, and it works exceptionally well when read out loud. She quickly finishes and huffs as she makes her way back to her seat while we applaud her. That wasn't so bad now, was it? She stares at the poem blankly for a second before replying. Easy for you to say. You better not make me do that again. Well... That's what we're going to be doing at the festival, so... Do you at least feel confident enough that you can do it in front of a crowd? I guess. Not like there's any other choice. And I guess it'll be easier doing it in front of other people. I can put whatever face I want with strangers. I don't care about what they think of me or what they say about me. But it's just my friends. It's just embarrassing. But I still hate the idea that we have to perform. She mutters that last sentence under her breath. The others probably didn't even hear it. I knew Natsuki was stubborn, but this is a whole nother level. However, it does look like she's getting along with the idea of performing for the festival. At least for now, since she's basically outvoted and can't come up with another idea anyway. Really? That's a surprise. For me, it's the other way around. Having all those people looking at you, judging you. I don't want to think about it. I can relate to that. Yuri murmurs quietly. The thought of so many eyes observing your every move all at once. She trails off, shaking her head. Well, that's just how it is, so... Natsuki sighs in frustration. Well, I guess in that case, you won't have anything to worry about the festival. Speaking of which, I want to thank you all for performing. It might be difficult, but now that we have a general idea of what it'll be like, we'll be able to prepare ourselves. Make sure to pick out a poem and show it to me by tomorrow, okay? I need to know, rather, so I can make the pamphlets over the weekend. I should probably find another poem to recite. I know you'd prefer if we use our poetry, but I'm probably just going to pick a poem from a poet I like or something. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, Midas. I'm already pleasantly surprised that you're putting in all this effort into the club. Lower expectations, huh? More like any effort put in makes me happy in general. Monica smiles at me and then turns a smile to everyone else. That goes for everyone here. Thanks for going along with these last-minute plans. Anyway, I think that about does it for today. Let's still try and write poems for tomorrow, okay? I know the festival is coming up, but it's been working out nicely these past few days and I'd like it to continue. Tomorrow we'll finalize who's doing what for the festival, and then we'll have the weekend to prepare. Remember, you have until Monday. It'll be so much fun, I can't wait! We all stand up puffing away our things. However, Monica's voice stops us. And guys, she pauses twirling a strand of her hair in her hand. This club truly does mean so much to me, and I really appreciate what you're doing for it. Or what you're willing to do for it, rather. You guys are the best. A typical fashion Natsuki just rolls her eyes. Yuri smiles timidly while Sayori wears a hearty smile. Let's just get this over with. I hope you don't regret this. That's okay, Monica. Nothing to thank us for. We really appreciate what you've made for us. I can't help but catch Yuri muttering under her breath after she says this. I can do this. I can do this. Yeah, I love it here. We'll get to spend this cozy... We'll get to spread this cozy place to other people. It's all good, Monica. Alright. I stand up and grab my bag. While I'm certainly not as enthusiastic as Monica or Sayori about the festival. If I can pull off that little daydream stunt again, I'll be alright. I think. It's for the sake of the club. Not to mention impressing the girls. Especially one particular girl. Once I'm fully packed up, I walk over to Sayori. Ready to go. Yep. Jeez, don't you ever get tired of always walking home with Midas, Sayori? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, don't mind her. You guys are more adorable than anything. Alright. No need to make such a big deal out of it. It must be a little nice though. Yeah, I guess. Jeez. Let's just go already, Sayori. Okay. The two of us begin to walk home. A lot has changed in these past few days. Lost in thought, I don't even notice how quiet Sayori's being until we're almost back home. There's a lot going on in the club now, huh? I'll bet you're thinking about all the new vice president duties that you'll have to deal with when the club grows bigger. Yeah. Sayori. I'm worried. Anything specific on your mind? Not really. Sorry, did you want to talk? I mean, you don't have to if you're thinking about stuff. No, it's nice talking to you. I was thinking about something from earlier. It's nice that we, never mind, it's nothing. You're sounding a little like Yuri right now. Yeah. Well, I guess I just have a question for you, Midas. What's up? Yuri clears her throat before speaking. So let's just say that one day Yuri asked to walk home with you. Huh? What do you do? What kind of question is that? You're kind of putting me on the spot here. Well, if I were doing a Yuri route, which I've already done, I'll walk with Yuri, but I wanna see what Sayori's reaction will be. Sayori. I'd walk with you, of course. Sayori pauses for a moment. She glances at me from the side before turning away. But she's so beautiful and smart. Jeez. Why me? Her reply surprises me and I'm not sure how to answer, or what she wants to hear. I already see her in the club every day. Besides, you always seem to really like going home together. I wouldn't just ruin that for you. You're so silly, Midas. Well, first off, I've done the Yuri route, and second, well, you're my best friend, so that's probably Like, even if we didn't chase after Sayori romantically, I don't think there's a reason to do that. She gives me a pained smile. You think about me too much sometimes. Maybe because you don't think of yourself, and I'm very, very worried. Yuri would deserve it if she wanted it, so... Sayori, I've already made up my mind. I really can't figure you out sometimes. Sorry. Besides, like I said, I've always enjoyed catching up with you again. Why would I just change that for another girl? Walking home with you and talking about just anything. It's a great throwback. She doesn't seem as happy as I'd imagined. I mean, both of our childhoods were pleasant. Strange. Conversation trails off. It's kind of a weird thing for Sayori to care so much about, but I want to respect her and keep her happy too. Sayori and I part ways without saying another word. I reach my house and open the door. I'm home. No response. I am alone as usual. I mumbled that part to myself, talking to myself as if I'm the protagonist of some manga or game. I must be going stir crazy. Mom is still out on their business trip. She's never home anymore. I miss her. I wonder how she'll react if we ever get Sayori. But I don't blame her for anything. It's hard enough providing for yourself, let alone a kid. Since I'm alone, I decide to make an instant meal for dinner. Digging in through my cabinets, I find some old cup soups. Miso soup sounds good. I unwrap the packaging, pour in some water, and place the meal in the microwave. While it cooks, my mind wanders back to my performance earlier. That daydream was so vivid and realistic. Can I really put off that performance again? But this time in front of a crowd? Wasn't even that big of a performance in the first place. Just doing it in front of the girls was nerve-wracking. Guess I'm not really used to being around people again. Maybe that's it. Thinking about it, I guess I've kind of been subconsciously isolating myself from people ever since the divorce. But even then, in some cases, or before then rather, I wonder when it started shunning myself. Maybe that's part of why Sayori and I drifted apart over the past few years. It wasn't intentional or anything, it just happened. At least I don't think it was intentional. But I'm glad I got to reconnect with her. And... I got to reconnect with her in the club. It's given me something to do. Something to look forward to that isn't anime or games. Talking with the girls has made me feel more appreciated. It's a nice feeling. Something that's been missing from me ever since the divorce. Maybe that's why Sayori likes walking home with me. Makes her feel appreciated. Sayori. The more I think about it, the more concerned for her I get. Thank goodness we're concerned about her this time. I mean, we were concerned in the Yuri route, but then again, we're more concerned now considering, I guess, this is her route and we're centered around her. Used to do some pretty weird stuff, but I guess people just have their off days. Maybe she just changed a little bit over the past few years. Really normal, right? I'd like to think I'll be able to tell if something was up with her. Although given our recent distance, I'm not so sure. Sure, we started talking but there's a lot of lost time. Maybe that'll change. We'll go back to how we used to.